Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Just like most people who do broadcast to say, depending on what parts or what time of the day this broadcast meets you. Well, I'm just preparing to meet my next guest, a woman who's done so much with natural things, promoting healthy lifestyles and healthy living through the things that we consume. Well, make sure you don't miss the opportunity. Come with me to the studio. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, hi.
Good evening.
Good evening. Where are you?
I'm actually inside my car.
Okay. I can see you inside your car.
Yeah.
I can't see you. That's not. It's okay if you let me see you inside your car. Except,
Sorry.
except you are driving.
No, I'm not. I'm not driving.
Wow. In fact, your own gap teeth is at the center. My own is at the
Yeah.
side.
Oh my God. Beautiful.
So center and side, both ways. How are you?
I'm fine. Are you?
Very well, very well. Happy New Year to you.
Wish you same.
Wow, wow. You look all good. In fact,
Thank you.
you are my August visitor, and and your name is Augusta.
Exactly.
Okay, and your business is Augusta Rich. In fact,
You can imagine that.
pleased to meet with you. Pleased to see you. If it's like when you're talking on phone, you tell somebody, pleased to meet with you, and you begin to wonder, am I seeing this person? But here I am. I am seeing you. I am enjoying the beauty of the laughter, the serenity of the laughter that you bring. Um,
Thank you.
it's a pleasure indeed. It's a pleasure indeed. Um,
Same here. Same
Okay,
here.
so let's not burn into your time because looking at the kind of person you are, and it seems like there's a match. If I allow ourselves to go on, we'll begin to go, talk, and then we'll go out of the time that we have. So we'll have another opportunity to talk about ourselves, to get to know ourselves better. It's again,
No
as I
problem.
said, is a pleasure. You already know my name is Veronica Oshokoya. I used to like to say to myself that my name is Vera. But after a while, I realized that everybody began to be Vera. Why don't I go back to that Veronica? That my parents called me. Because my father were to be alive. He probably would say, everything, everywhere I go, I hear Vera, 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 Vera. Who's called you Vera? Your name is Veronica. So I am
Yeah.
Veronica Oshokoya. I just like meeting with people who have brilliant ideas. And I share their dreams and I try to see how best I can help them expand their horizon. You know,
Okay.
chat with them, speak with them, perhaps meet with them and see if there are opportunities that I can offer or what I can see that is happening or that they are doing, and if there's a way I can help mentor, tutor, direct, or see how we can share ideas just to make them blossom better. The beauty of
Okay.
this whole life is when women, especially, get it right. I can't say I'm a female activist, but I'm someone who just likes the girl child. I
Okay.
don't forget the fact that I'm a girl and I have a story. Everybody has a story in life.
Yeah.
Some of you may not have had the kind of stories that people like me have had, but those stories make us appreciate people better, and
Yeah.
they make us also see the joy of little beginnings and see that little beginnings actually blossom if they are nurtured well into
Yes.
wonderful opportunities. So this is who I am. I have worked at several levels, different places, as a marketer, a salesperson, advertiser, most importantly, as a publicist.
Wow.
That's who I am. I'm a fellow of several marketing and sales platforms,
Mm,
and
mm.
I retired finally after I haven't reached the age of retirement, but I just said I needed to just bow out. Retired as the marketing director at the federal government level, for
Wow.
Federal Radio Corporation
Wow.
of Nigeria. So that's who I am. I have more things about myself, but it is your time, it is your opportunity, it is your platform. Tell me about you, but telling me, it's not me. When I say tell me, you're telling the world, because we'll try to see if we can use various social media handles, platforms, anywhere we can just throw this discussion in, so that people get to
Okay.
know you, and then we leave you also. You have your own retinue of followers, customers, well-wishers, family. You throw them and you ask them to share, 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 share. Okay, so
Yeah.
let's meet with you.
Okay. Thank you for introducing yourself. And I mean, hearing all you said, it's more like I've already known you. Okay. My name is Augusta Obiagelichi Deze. Um, I'm from the eastern part of Nigeria, Anambra to be precise. I come from a family of 9, including all my parents. I'm the last of the 7 children, and an orphan now because I've lost my parents. Um, I should say I have a very humble beginning because I wasn't pampered at all, being the last of 7. My mom sees to it that for whatever she's doing, I'm always by her side. You know, there is a popular meeting in the East they call August meeting. For every August meeting, I'm always there with her. Once she's coming down, then there was no GSM. So she calls on the landline we use in school and asks me to come down to the village. And I'll check my schedule in school to be sure that I have no test, no fees, and I'll move down. And being there, we go to the farm together. She's not a farmer, but she has her garden in the village where she plants all sorts of things. She goes to the farm, tell me if you make this, if you do this, you get this. Make sure you prepare this for me and all that. So growing up, um, I came to notice that each time I take beef, I have a swollen eye, and for some time I won't really. It will pair my vision that I won't really see very well. I didn't know what was happening. So in the middle part of my secondary school, I had to stop eating anything beef. You know, whatever is done with beef, I stay off it. But that's not to say that I don't take the inner part, the intestine, and what have you. I do those ones. But the meat itself, I don't take. You know, it becomes a no thing for me. So there in the university, I notice so many times when I go off my way to eat out like every other person does, right there and there, if there's something wrong with the food, I start purging. Sometimes I get to the extent that I start throwing up, you know. So I became so choosy about what I eat, and my friends are like, she's very arrogant, she's very proud, and all that. I tell them, no, this is not the case. I'm not like you people. If I do the way you guys do, I won't come out of it. So whenever I'm going, then in the university, for each naira I'm being given as, let's say, a dash, I keep it and I give it to my mom to buy me my food stuff. I make all my food by myself. I don't eat out like every other person. Fine, once in a while I visit restaurants to eat and all that. But once my spirit gets cold about the food, I know there's trouble. You know, that is just the beginning of Osterich. I'm just giving you a brief background of how Osterich started. So, at a time, I took it upon myself to make my own spice with the knowledge of what my mom used to tell me, mix this, mix that to get the better of this so that it will be more delicious and all that, Our story started with a stew. This little stew you do to sit on in the kitchen,
Yes.
I have a small part of my sitting room where I actually stay with my elder sister. So that small part, I'll just do the little magic with what we have in the house, not the processed things we have in the house, but the thyme leaf, the curry leaf we have, and mix them up. And I'm like, let's cook with this. With time, my family start liking what I'm mixing. They're like, oh, it's so nice. How did you come about that? They said, that's just the magic. So it started like that. And in 2018-19, no, 2017, I was really going into herbs to go and study herbal drugs and all that. And my sister was like, what do you want to use it for? I said, I don't know, but with what I've gone through, the allergy and using the English drugs, and it's as if nothing is happening. My doctor gave me a list of what to eat and what not to eat, and I'm like, hey, doctor, I don't think this thing will work. It's as good as telling me to be drinking water and not to eat anything, So in my subconsciousness, I was like, I need to find a way around this thing. It doesn't have to be a thing of don't eat this because when we taste you, it's because this and all that, So I started thinking outside the box. What can I do differently? Not just to help myself, but to help people that might be in line of my kind of health condition. So I went into Google, started looking for what the community and the environment needs. I started making them, buying things, making them. My sister loves cooking, just like I do, but I don't like cooking like she does. She can stay in the in the kitchen for 8 hours doing some magic. So for each spice I make, I give it to her. Like, okay, this spice I made it for this type of soup. Let's try it on it and see how it comes out. And after cooking, she's like, this is nice. This is nice. What do you call this one? I said, I don't know. I just know this thing will be nice on this soup. So it continued like that. From my family, I was like, hey, my family can't just be the only ones enjoying this thing. Let me take it out to friends and well wishers. So there in the office, I tell my friends, this is what I do. Say, oh yeah, bring some for us now. It's not like that. But I wasn't taking it serious. I wasn't taking it serious at all. I was just doing it as something I'm having a new passion for, a new finding for myself and for loved ones, And before you know it, people are wondering and they're asking me for more. Can you make this? Can you make that? So it started like that. Come 2021, I left my job for a new one. Getting there, I found out that I wasn't feeling the job, In as much as I was putting in my best and all that and getting results, I wasn't having that fun, that passion that drives me when I work wasn't really there again. But every of my thinking is more like, what can I produce? That's what comes to my subconsciousness. What can I produce? What can I do differently? You know. So fast forward June. Okay, April. I lost my sister, my elder sister. You
April
know,
what year?
April 2021. I lost my elder sister. That really dragged me down. You know, because we are very close. She's, as she says, she's one of the shareholders of Ridge. You know, because for everything I do, she's like, bring me sample, oh, let me taste and call my own result, not just what my other sister says it is. I need to confirm this thing, you know. So it really got at me. Then in June, I was laid off my job. That was another big hit on me. July, we did her burial. Fast forward December, my very best friend, my childhood friend, we grew up together. She's been one of my backbone in Ridge. I lost her too after child delivery. You know, she waited for 10 years and
My
gave
condolences.
birth. Thank you. Gave birth 23rd, had complications 24th, 25th. She died. You know, that was a big hit on me. Losing two besties of mine. You know, I was gradually sailing into depression. You know, I sit, I look, I wasn't seeing anybody, I wasn't hearing anything. Even when you're calling me, I'm off, you know. But thanks to a client turned sister of mine who noticed, we don't stay together, but somehow, I don't know, the Holy Spirit just used her. She noticed that something is wrong, you know. So she called me on the 30th of 2021 and said, Augusta, remove all those nonsense on your DP, all your social media, remove all those nonsense. What was that? Picture of my sister, picture of my late friend, you know. Those are what was covering my status update, my DPs, and what have you, you know. So she really scolded me like a child. Said I should remove everything. These people have lived their life and they are gone. The best thing you owe them is to pray for their souls to rest in peace. You have to move on. You have to move on. Come 1st of 2022, I want to see the Augusta I used to know. You know, that got at me. And immediately, daybreak 31st of 2021, I removed everything. I cleaned out. You know, I pasted flowers, lovely colors on my DPs and all that, you know. And I felt alive again, you know, after doing that. So on the 3rd, she called me again and said, congratulations, you're making headways. Now, I know there's no job, there's no more cash flow, but you have to do something about it. You have a talent hidden in you. Augusta, go and develop this talent. I was like, sister, I don't know. What talent are you talking about? She said, look into yourself. You'll find that talent. Go back to school. Go learn something different. Just move on. I want you out of that space you're occupying. It's not for you. You know, so I was like, okay, I think going back to school, making new friends, learning something new is better. And my sisters was like, go and relearn food processing. Do something about it. There is this passion you have about it. So I went back to school and I started learning again how to do food processing, how to source for the right products, right raw materials, where to get them, and the best way to do it. And the good thing about the school I went to was they didn't teach us anything about preservative. They said we must get back to the 80s, the 70s, where our mothers use iru to cook and everybody is biting their fingers. So they don't believe in anything preservative. And that is where everything ostrich restarted again. It's more like I started the business all over again. All the labels I did earlier for my products, I had to destroy them. I had to rebrand the whole of it, then restart again to process and give back to the society. And that is the new ostrich. And in fact, I went to the extent of registering ostrich to be a limited liability company. It was a venture earlier. So I have to re-register because from what I do now, which I strongly believe in, I believe the product is due
Okay.
to go outside
Let me just halt you there. This is the first time in the history of my having a chat with people that I get carried away, because when a storyline towards success, a success story, has a lot of emotions, emotions that have actually contributed, whether we like it or not. There's when you look at the word message. I listened to a preacher man say to me once that message is a combination of mess and age. Over time, that's the age. You've been through mess, then plus the age, and that gives you a message. So if you're able to capture your message from the mess you've been in over the ages, you're able to arrive at the destination. So I actually thought you were Augusta-rich, but it's Osterich.
Yeah.
Osterich. Okay. Now, I'd like to say something to you. Your name is Obiageli. And if I understand what Obiageli is, it's Obiageliako.
Yeah.
Yes. So you must, some people say, what is in a name? The reason I decided to drop the Vera in my name, which I gave myself, is because I read through the Catholic booklet, which says there was a Veronica who wiped the face of Jesus. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So, and I
Yes.
just said to myself, I looked at my nature and I said my nature is about that helps wipe people's faces when they are in distress. So I just said, let me go back to it. And I have a friend. I used to have a friend when I ran a master's degree. One of the master's degrees I did way back in Ife, University of Ife. Her name is Margarita. Budeadu. Margarita would have just said my name is Meg. But you see,
yeah.
she loved to call her name completely. So recently I just had a rethink, more like an attitudinal rethink, to say there's more to my name. So what I'm trying to say is that your name, you must not jettison your name, okay? And it is not a sheer coincidence that Augusta, when people make statement, they say August visitor, so there's something about August. August people naturally are very strong people, very strong people. They are usually very determined. And then you went through to tell me your experience you had with eating beef. It means you're very conscious, you're very sensitive to what you do, to what happens to you. You took that sensitivity line and you built something from that message of sensitivity. Over the time you observed it, which was the age again, you built something. You built the herbal discovery processes. Then this was in 2017. You said. Then you had the hits of life in 2021. The loss of a dear one, the loss of a good friend and a backbone and all that. But now you went back to school. Somebody discovered you. There is something on Facebook. I used to belong to it. We call it WEW, Women Encouraging Women. So but
Okay.
listening to you too, I know you must have gone through that process of WEW, Women Encouraging Women. So anywhere I work, even recently, I just got myself involved with a lot of political things. Not that I'm not a politician, but I just realized that I needed to be a part of the process of Nigeria, of a new Nigeria. So
Okay.
what I did was to key into encouraging a particular group. I will not mention the group, and all the women in that group, I started doing all I could, to see if I could encourage them to key into building, because we are the platform that will build the world.
Exactly.
Okay. So now Osterich is into food processing now.
Yeah.
Right. So you've dropped the herbs, but whether you like it or not, the herbs is also a part of the food processing. So
Definitely.
now
You're right.
what we want to do is how we can, you see, Augusta, this time definitely you must have to book a second session.
Wow.
Yes, yeah, you must have to book a second session. You have the presence.
Okay.
I do not have to patronize you. You understand, but listening to you, talking to you, I even see the possibility of having to partner with you on some presentations.
Wow.
So
Okay.
this time isn't enough for you. 45 minutes just goes like that. So now
Hmm.
I want us to see how you metamorphosed from herbs into food processing, okay? And you had to rebrand, you had to re-register, you had to expand the scope of the horizon of where you found yourself. You felt you were cocooned. Now you got out of it,
Yeah.
thanks to the person who observed, because sometimes we do little things we think people are not seeing.
That's true.
You see people are
That's
not
true.
seeing, but those who care would know when it is you or it is not you. So thank goodness, God bless your friend, customer turn friend, friend turn customer, whatever, turn sister, yeah. So who made you drop those baggages? Because these things get so heavy. It happens to me. It happens to me. Sometimes you find yourself, you lock yourself in, you begin to cry, you begin to have self-pity. Before you know it, you're having comfort eating, comfort sleeping, comfort drinking, comfort snacking. And you know what you're doing? You're doing it with your heart, you're doing it with your organs, you're doing it with your system. And when you do all that and anything happens to you, you know what? Yeah, I always tell people it's funny. You go to hellfire because you killed yourself. Oh, yes,
Yeah.
you killed yourself.
Definitely.
Oh
That's
yes,
true.
you killed yourself. It's not when you take a drug or you drink or you do something or you stab yourself or whatever that you go to hellfire. There are other avenues to going there. If you want to go there, go. So, but you must have pull yourself out to say, hey, no, this is not my destination. This is not where I'm going. So now, quickly, whatever time we have to talk about where you are today and how you're doing what you are doing today. If you could book appointments with the executive producer of this program, you may need to book a second an extension. So when he has to put this out, he may, if you agree, he will say to be continued. Do you
Okay.
understand? Okay. So
Okay.
tell us about this new you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. I'm proud and happy to say that today Osterich has increased from the turmeric, ginger, palm oil producing company to a variety of brands comprising of variety of products. I'm wearing the T-shirt of one of my brands, True
Mm.
Spice, and all my brands are all registered. They are all trademarked. True Spice is strictly for spice production. Osterich is for oil production, variety of oil, granite oil, palm oil, sesame seed oil, why oyster-rich food is a combination of spice and meal. You know, so today we are comprising of three brands, like I've earlier mentioned, and the oyster-rich you hear is actually a mixture of my English name and my surname, Augusta Chidozie.
Ah,
That's what made oyster-rich.
Australia. Oh, Augusta. Oh, I see.
so, so um, we are doing relatively well in the area of spice production and all that. We are working on meals now, on the go meals, because I mean, we ladies are trying, taking care of the home, cooking and all that. I'm working on meals that you just wake up and you throw it into the microwave or into the pot, and everybody is good to go, and they all eat and enjoy, you know.
So
So
it's a food to go.
yes,
Yeah.
it's a
Okay.
quick fix. Let me call it quick fix meal.
Wow. Wow. Quick fix. Okay. Okay.
So that's what I'm working on now, and I'm actually researching on a meal that will help health impediments. You know, like diabetic people, arthritis, something that they enjoy eating, but because of the illness, they can't eat it anymore. I'm looking for a way to infuse these herbs into those meals that it will not spike their sugar level if it's for a diabetic person, or cause the arthritis to increase for an arthritis person. So these are the two ailments that I know is very common here in Nigeria, because of our starchy
And
food.
oily, starchy.
And not really,
Yummy, yummy. It's yummy, and
yes.
then you're just killing yourself. Anyway, well done. So your initial presentation was on turmeric, ginger spice, palm oil, and all that. You haven't
Yeah.
really dropped them. They are still there.
No, they are still there.
Perfect. So what you have done is layer and another layer. Okay,
Exactly.
and then yes, so the second layer that you have succeeded in delivering, it's the layer of food processing, right? Okay, now you are now looking into going for, have you started the healthy foods? Have you started
I,
at all?
I've worked on it because in my food processing journey,
Mm,
before I went back to school to study more on it,
mm,
you know, like I said, I started with my family. I had issues of mold, which is not a good one, on my food. So after going back to school and coming out, it's now better and well managed. So, but I didn't, um, how do I put it? Um, I'm not too fast to produce a product and push it into the market or start advertising it. I do a 1 month, 2 month shelf life and taste with that product to be sure that is what I say it is. I'm still running a test on these meals, you know. Um, I'll give you an expo. One is on beans, the other one is on gari.
okay.
Is an everyday meal
Oh
in
yeah,
Nigeria.
yes, the beans and gari. I mean, I just finished making a goosey soup. If I, no, sincerely, I mean, I don't know. Where I come from, they said if you have not done it, you know, don't laugh. If you laugh now, I'll sue you. Okay, perfect. So, well, you know what? Advertising for you. You know, I said in this discussion we need to discover where we can push for you, where we can encourage you. You know, there are two things that we must talk about: funding,
Yeah.
advertising, funding and advertising. In advertising has a huge scope.
Yeah.
Right? Advertising, you must have packaging concerns.
Yeah.
You must have registration regulatory authority concerns.
Yeah.
You must have platforms to push them through. You must understand who your listeners are. You must also understand who you're targeting to purchase. Okay, so it's a whole gamut of things that you must know in advertising. That was why I said, like we have 4 minutes to go. Right. So we haven't talked about the challenges you have. We haven't even understood very well. I mean, I have understood. I can imagine, but it is not for me. You know, I need to know who your clients are. Who else do you want? Where do you want? Where are you based? Okay. Then what have you done? What have you done traditional advertising? Have you done OOHs? Have you done out of door to door? Each one tell another. Okay. Have you done flyers? How impactful have they been? Have you done wet samplings? If having to say there's a competition. I know there's a bank that used to do something on I think GT Bank. You know, they used to have a food something like a show.
Yeah.
Have you ever participated in that? What are the memorabilia that you have? Like you're wearing a lovely t-shirt. In fact, by the way, my size is a very small one. It's the smallest. Just intimidate me with this your laughter. That's why you reacted to beef, because you laughed at somebody.
Oh my God.
Okay, so no, you know, so you can see that we still need to talk more. You know, because with what you are doing, international organizations, what I mean by food of international organizations must know how much of media, personal media, social media have you done to push yourself out. Are you on LinkedIn? Where have you done some connections where people ask you questions? Of course, there'll be spam mails and all that on your email. A lot of it, once you push what kind of business you do, everybody thinks right. So advertising on Facebook, and then recently WhatsApp has expanded its own scope. There's something I noticed on my phone. I upgraded 2 days ago, and I saw that I could automatically, without paying, advertise on some platforms. Okay. Now, advertising, traditional radio. Have you done any barter? At the end of the year, what supermarkets do you push for hampers, Christmas gifts? You know, who have you? Which organization have you considered leveraging with? Have you looked at Tony Elumelu Foundation? Have you looked at people like Grooming Center? How do you handle issues of logistics? How do you, you know, so you are not, let me speak it in Igbo. Isirokwa nil, Igbo kwari Igbo.
India.
So it's around Ibu. So you know, when I meet Yoruba people and Hausa people, I try to speak their language, but this is just an opportunity, because when people hear Oshokoya, they just assume she is, you know, but Yoruba, yes. But well, happy to be a Nigerian, and so it's been a wonderful opportunity. We have just 1 minute. So we
Okay.
must go to the next level. So find out the time that is most appropriate and convenient. And I must tell you, from me to you, this is a hug.
Oh
Sincerely.
my
Oh
God.
yes, I
Yeah.
am proud of you. I am
Thank
proud.
you.
I am proud of women like you. You know, I'm proud of women who are determined, who are not letting go.
Yeah.
So quickly, just before, who knows? Tell us your social media. How can people reach you, pending when we're able to take the next session?
Okay. On IG, I go as Osterich. On FB, I go as Osterich. We are not on LinkedIn yet, for some reason.
VECHI'S VFFP.net is a disruptive innovation that fuses the present standard of just selling items with fixed prices online and the key features of the traditional open market that allows for independence, free negotiation, competition, multiple vendor choice options for you to choose from, and so on. Buy literally anything you want from any online digital vendor of your choice and from any state in Nigeria. Don't like what you see? Or the prices you are getting from a particular vendor online? You are sure to find another of the same business niche you are currently interested in. Remotely access any service and buy any product from any vendor of your choosing without the compulsion to leave your comfort before getting served, as is with the present traditional but stressful and cost-intensive way that forces you to go out even when tired in order to enjoy the privileges and benefits of an open market. Digitalizing the qualities of the traditional open market for your absolute convenience is what we do. Navigate around vendors and negotiate as you would a physical open market with products and services having no fixed prices as with other online e-commerce platforms. VECHI.